cybersecurity and how I play. I was taking a look at the cybersecurity playbook and trying to come up with different tangible ways to relate it to the game of basketball. And I used to read the book Kobe Bryant, Mamba Mentality, How I Play. So I'm going to apply certain principles from what I've come across in my last couple days to cybersecurity and zero trust and how we can get to that area, to that safe space of applying zero trust and knowing that our teams and our networks are secure. Now, how we play, the game, it evolves over time. So exactly with zero trust, the president came down with an order, executive order 14028, which pretty much improves the nation's cybersecurity by initiating a sweeping government-wide effort, to ensure that baseline security practices are in place. Now, that's just like, the owner of the team coming down like, hey, you had a good year. It was okay. We had some wins, we had some losses, but it's time to step it up. There's a lot of tools and technologies with stats and statisticians and data analytics that we can apply to make sure we have the right tools in place to get the shit. The ultimate goal is to win the championship in the sport. No one wants to come home in second place. No one wants to be in second place when you're behind. And we have all kinds of actors out there, from Russia to China to Iran, that are constantly trying to take the number one spot. So what are we going to do to defend against that and secure our number one spot? I have a few notes that I take in here from this playbook that I want to apply. So in a quick summary, so to get to zero trust, as a team, we can no longer rely on perimeter defense. Excuse me, hold on. Yeah, we can no longer rely on perimeter defense. So we have to come up with a different defensive strategy. We cannot allow just trusting that our methods have been working and not really testing it out. We need to verify everyone and everything. Are you the right fit for the team? Do you know the plays? Are you trusted with the playbook? When you apply it to the game, that's how. When you apply it to systems, you got to make sure that everything is verified, instead of just trusting that once we do our checks in the beginning, that it's good to go, and we do no further checks. We have to constantly verify and make sure, and not trust anything, but verify. Trust but verify is the key. We need to, okay, we hired you, welcome to the team, you're signed, here's your contract. I trust that you can do what you do, but you're still going to got to get out there and perform every day and live up to the standard of what you're being paid, to verify that you can still be on this team. The coaches, or shall I say the federal government, need to have enterprise managed accounts, allowing them to access everything they need to do their job while remaining reliably protected from even targeted, sophisticated phishing attacks. So now, our coaching staff, we need to make sure that you have the tools that you need to implement these changes, and with these bold changes. Now, this is not something that's done overnight, but we do have to get it done by this year, because we want to win this year. We're not looking at 10 years down the line. We want to win today. I want to go out there and win tomorrow. But I know it's going to take time to learn these new practices and how it goes. But to institute this, we got to give you what you need. But it can't be, it has to be everything you need to do your job, but to keep you safe. Because you have reporters, you have the media, you have the sports pundits, you have the podcasters, everybody's a coach nowadays. Everybody knows how to do it, and they will attack you. They will throw stuff at you. But know that is enterprise-wide, means you're protected by the organization, the team as a whole. You have the owner, the president's backing in this. We're all on the same page. We're on one accord, as together, as a team, as a unit, as an organization, we will win. A key tenet of zero trust is that nothing is trusted, inherently trusted. It may be at odds with the way some things go. You're supposed to trust your teammates, trust your coaches, trust your trainers. But you never know who's out there shopping for a better deal. You know, I mean, who's out there working with the opposing teams? Like, okay, you know what? My contract is coming up. I got I got 1 year left, maybe two. I can exercise an option for a trade. I can tank the season. That has happened, folks. You cannot just trust people. So you have to institute zero trust. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. That's the nature that we're in. That's the game. That's the game that we play. So we need to make sure we track and monitor everything that we use to get the job done. So we track the devices, the staff use to do their job. We track the agencies are isolated from one another. So the teams are actually isolated from each other, and the network traffic flowing between them is reliably encrypted. So what does that mean in the sports world, in the team world? It kind of sounds secretive. You ever see the coaches on the sideline? I remember Chip Kelly. This is going to football for a second, but you see how when they call plays, so you have other teams, other agencies out there watching these games, right? Watching what they want to see who the scouting reports, shall we say? So remember they would throw up signs, a duck sign with a number, where you always see the defensive coordinator calling their plays like this. Consider that the encryption level. It's basic, but we're dealing with more sophisticated levels of encryption when we're talking about zero trust. But just to give it to something relatable to the sports advocate or someone who may not know all the tenets of zero trust. The 5 tenets of zero trust, and as it relates to the game: identity, agency, that is your team; devices, that's what we use to play the game. Say your basketballs, your nets, your hoops, your courts, your networks, which are you have different, you have scouting, you have trading, you have the ownership, you have let's see, defense, your offense, your who else is there? Hey, let's go to food and beverage. You got your stadium. You got it's everything within inside that you use, your networks that you use to accomplish the goal. Because you need the fans. You need your fans. Your fans are within your network as well. Got to encrypt the data of them. They can't let them know everything. They got big mouths. They may go out there to the internets, to the interwebs, and post something you didn't want them to know. It happens, folks. Especially your fanboys or your true diehard fans. They may do it out of love for the game, but may jeopardize your play calling. You also have applications and workloads. Now, this is going to break down to your players. Now, especially in workloads, you have players that will give it their all, and as you give it, they give it their all day in and day out. And I think of one, Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant. The body breaks down. The applications break down if the workload is too much. Then you have your data, your stats, your game footage, what your outputs, what did you take from it? What can you have? What do you need to protect? Such as your projections, your data categorization. How do you categorize this? It's game footage. It's this scouting reports. That kind of thing. So speaking of data, you need to welcome vulnerability reports, public vulnerability disclosure programs. I look at this as your scouting reports. You need to take in not just your scouts. You look at other teams' reports. You look at your analysts. Look at what they're saying about the team. You need to welcome that kind of those kind of reports. That kind of, what do you call it? Not being critical, but you need to welcome that, because they're giving you what they think how your network is. Sorry, I just had a call in the middle of this video, and I liken that to a phishing attack. I didn't have my multi-factor authentication on. I did not have my do not disturb on, so therefore it might have compromised what I was trying to say. It might have cut it off. If I would have answered the call, it could have jeopardized this information getting out to the wrong audience. So I will follow up with that later. Where was I at? Give me 1 second. So another topic is safely making internet applications accessible To effectively implement zero trust architecture, an organization must have complete understanding of its internet accessible assets so that it may apply security policies consistently and fully defined and accommodate user workflows. Now, in practice, it can be very challenging for a large, decentralized organization to track every asset reliably. So, I look at free agents and trying to find the right player for the team. And before you would have everybody just go out and you have scouts all over the place. I don't actually know how many scouts are involved within an organization, but you would have them just go out. But you need to make the scouting reports accessible and trusted, but only to you. So it may be hard if it's decentralized to go out there. Scouts interact with other scouts, and they may compare notes and say, hey, I'm looking at this player. What you think about this player? I don't know, but now you gave them a heads up that that's what you're looking into. Now they have the same goal as they want to win. You know what they might try to do with that. So they need to be reliable. So you got to have your scouts accessible and the reports accessible, but they have to be, it's only to you. So for agencies to maintain complete understanding of what internet accessible attack surfaces they have, they must rely not only on the internal records, but also on external scans of their infrastructure from the internet. So you got to go out there and see what's out there. Pretty much, basically see. Well, you got to scan, you got to Google, you got to look, see what is out there from us that we might not want out there. Did we put this release out? Is this a very credible press release from us? Did somebody generate this? Is this fake news? That's kind of where I'm going. So, hey, it may be before Lakers just signed Wally Zerbiak. I just throw a name out there. Now that didn't happen, but it's out there. If you didn't know, how can you defend about it? So you gotta be looking into what's actually out there. Next, we want to talk about immutable workloads. Let's talk about your players being tired again, overusing. So in zero trust, immutable workloads, mature-based cloud infrastructure typically offers technical interfaces that are well optimized for fully automated deployment. So if you have a rotation going, you're using your data analytics to see when your players are best optimized, so that they're not too tired, they're not worn out, they're not bringing in, because if you allow manual changes to the environment, and it inevitably leads to situations where different instances of production servers are running on different patches. Your players are running on their hot and cold, right? There's all types of data and stuff out there that is being used now that can apply these things. And in our world, maybe AI, but if you have it manually, you're increasing the complexity of future deployments and introducing the opportunities for error. So you get out there, you may pull a Achilles, make it strain. You get tired, and you can't have that. So you got to monitor your workloads. And data. Let's talk about data vision. Agencies are on a clear shared path to deploy projections that make use of thorough data categorizations. Agencies take advantage of cloud security and tools to discover, classify, and protect their sensitive data, and implement enterprise-wide logging and information sharing on the court. So, vision, right? Let's talk about court vision. You got your player out there. You got to be able to see the whole court. You got to see the path. Okay, I'm going to dribble to my left, and then you got the forward's going to come up and set that pick, and they're going to roll. And I'll call this a tick. I'll refer to that later. The pick and roll, or okay, the tick, PIC, TIC. They're going to roll, but I see that. I seen that, and I know how the defense was going to react. I seen how they were going to react before I even made that play, because it came from practicing. It came from going over the play list. It came from knowing how we work together, having the tight-knit network of teammates. It came to, we all know how we're going to react. So we have great court vision. That is a key component of zero trust, data vision or court vision. Now, I always talk about automating security responses and the SOAR approach, soaring above the rest. Now, we could use AI, but that is, although we want to be bold and use, new and improved technologies. We need to be careful of how we use these new and improved technologies. So, making sort of automation to a large team may improve security and efficiency, but we got to be careful we don't disrupt the daily work of the team, right? It needs fine tuning. We got to bring it in, and I hate to say it because in the beginning we don't want to do short, small iterations of instituting the zero trust, but we got to be careful when it comes down to just bringing in these new technologies. We need to verify that they are trusted. Remember, trust but verify. We need to verify they are trusted. Then we need to trust and verify them. And it needs to go on and on and on. We must identify candidates for early data sensitivity. Excuse me. So we need to identify who can we trust, right? Who has this? What's Google doing over there? What's Microsoft doing over there? What's AWS doing? All right, those are key candidates that we want to use. So we have identified that we want to get them on our team. Let's start some talks with them, and then it doesn't require AI to have a conversation with them to get the conversation started of what they can do. That's just being extra. Okay. Let's automate finding out who we're going to bring on the squad. You don't want to just jump into that approach. Let's be real, because we need to, once we start to talk with them, we need to respond. And as it says, any automated action should first be implemented in a report only mode, in which agency security teams monitor the performance, theoretics, and accuracy of their categorization before enabling any security actions that might impact staff workflow. So now we want to bring in this brand new, tech to to improve rehabilitation from an injury. Now, is it trusted? Do we know that it works? So we gotta talk to them, and they gotta give us, say report only, meaning we just read the reports on it, we see what's going on before we just bring it in and say, here, jump in this tub, your ankle is going to be healed in 2 days. Meanwhile, there's other implications down the line that we did not see because we didn't take the time to do due diligence to make sure that it was a good fit for what we needed. Take that with AI or with any other technology that we're going to use. Yeah, it may make it easier at first because it sounds good, but we got to verify that it does what it says, and that's going to take a little bit of time. We don't have too much time, and hopefully these conversations have already started and they're already going. We just need to make sure that it does what it says. Trust and verify that it's trusted. Tested, it proved, and trusted. I want to hear that Burna Boy song at the end of every evaluation. Auditing access to sensitive data. Pretty self-explanatory. Who has the keys? Who can get into our facility? Who has access to our scouting reports, our game footage? We have to continuously audit to make sure the right people have it. Someone may have, a disgruntled employee may have left, but still have the keys. And you know what can happen with that. Timely access to logs. An executive order calls for a decisive action to improve the federal government's ability to investigate and recover from incidents and breaches. I compare this to a 4-game road losing trip. We're on the road. Do we want to wait till we get off our road trip to evaluate the game footage? I think after game 1, we need to be looking at, okay, what happened there? Why did we lose this game? We came in with a great scouting report. We applied what we applied, but what went wrong? Now we have the footage. We have the artifact to see and watch what went wrong. So we need to have timely access to it immediately. Yes, I said immediately, following the buzzer. We be in the locker room, like looking at what went wrong. If we wait till we get back, you got 3 other games that you may possibly lose because you didn't fix what happened. Now those 4 games, that one game turned into 4 games, which now you dropped out of playoff contention, and your chances for the championship, have slimmed. Timely access, folks. Now, bringing in all these changes, it's a big task. And it's going to take a little bit of time. Like I said, time is of the essence. We are now out of the off season. We are into 24. The first quarter has started. Let's take what we have learned. Let's apply it. Let's evaluate it. Let's review the footage. Make sure that it's working. And together, we can get this whole organization to zero trust. Let's get to zero trust. Now, to get to this, it's going to take some time. But let's take what we have learned. Let's apply it. We are no longer in the off season. We are now, season is full effect. First quarter has happened. Let's take what we have learned, apply it, review the footage, see what's happening, what's working, what's not working. Let's adapt, let's adjust. If the defense needs to change, we need to move from a man to a zone, from a 2-3 to a 1-3-1. Whatever it is, we have to be agile in our approach and adapt on the fly with our trusted players, our devices, with our identity, organization, together with our devices, with our coaches, with our workloads manageable. Applying the data and the data sets, the footage, the reports that we have gathered, we can get there. We can see ourselves at the end holding up the championship trophy, as we should, and have applied the zero trust architecture and be the enterprise leading organization in the world. Salute. Making next move the best move. Make it a boss.